Welcome to the It's Been Said podcast. I'm your host, SAI Executive Director Lisa Ramey. Today's episode is a special edition of the It's Been Said podcast. Dave Daughton, Government Relations Director, will discuss his perspective on current legislative topics relevant to district and school administrators. He'll offer his insights on this subject matter periodically over the coming months. Let's hear from Dave.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our second edition of the SAI Legislative Update. I'm Dave Daughton, Government Relations Director for School Administrators of Iowa. This version is being distributed in mid-December, just prior to the Christmas break. We've got several things to talk about today, but not a lot of new things. One of the state legislature special elections has been completed, and Republican Wendy Larson won the seat for House District 7 that was held by Mike Sexton, who took a position with the USDA. There is a second special election scheduled for December 30th, and that is to fill a seat vacated by the passing of Senator Celsey. This is a district that's primarily in Polk County. It's unlikely there'll be any change in the overall makeup of either chamber once these special elections are finished. The Revenue Estimating Conference, or the REC, held their December meeting recently and gave their projections. These numbers are used to set the spending levels for the 2026 session. And those revenues, FY26 revenues, were revised slightly upward, meaning that the decline in revenues will be slightly less than what they thought they were going to be. The fiscal year 27 revenue estimates were revised upward by an additional percentage point from a 3.2% revenue increase to 4.2%. And so that's a fairly good thing to think about, that hopefully the revenues will be up and there'll be more funding to be able to distribute, especially to schools. Most of you should be aware of a new board member training that was required as a result of House File 706 from the last session. We would suggest that you consult with your school attorney regarding what they think you should be doing with that and the way it's being interpreted. We do plan to fix what is wrong with that bill during the session, and we'll try to get some clarifying language in there to make it right. I would encourage you to take advantage of any opportunities you have to advocate and educate for students and for the schools and staff that serve them. Go to the SAI website and download the SAI Legislative Priorities, and you can hand those to your legislators. You can hand them to people in the community so they know what your priorities are across the state for your schools. I would encourage you to talk about stories within your community, within your school district. Legislators relate to those stories, and if you can tell them those things, then it will help them to understand what's really happening. An example would be to just talk about how 80+% of a school district's expenditures are towards staff, and those staff are used to educate the kids that we have in our buildings. We need adequate funding to be able to hire staff members to do those jobs. Superintendents, I'd consider a letter to the editor. I know one superintendent who told me a story about that, and he got the most response he had ever gotten when he put a letter to the editor in a local newspaper. You can also do a social media post that would provide information to your parents and communities and educate them on topics around education. And by educating them, they can help you educate the legislators as well. The 2026 legislative session begins on January 12th, and Governor Reynolds will give her condition of the state address on January 13th. And then she'll release her budget proposals as well as any priorities that she has for the 2026 session. I hope you have a great Christmas break. I hope you get recharged and refreshed. January will be here before we know it, and we'll be moving into the second semester. If you ever have any specific questions, feel free to contact me. You can contact me through my email, and I'll do my best to help. Have a great Christmas break, and we'll talk to you again. Thanks.